Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be sharing the cards I made using Love From Lizi's September 2023 card kit. It's called A Spot of Autumn. I'll also be using some of the add-ons, and one of them is an add-on kit bundle. The add-on bundle includes more of the pattern paper and cut-aparts, more stickers, specialty cardstock, peel-offs, and more. And I will have links for all of the products used in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. The first sketch is from Cards TV. This is sketch number 30. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I use in this video, I share all of that information on my coordinating blog post. The link is provided in the description box below, or you can head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For the background of my card, using this fun plaid paper, I layered it first on some black cardstock, then again on some craft cardstock. And the craft cardstock is included in the add-on bundle kit. One of my favorite pattern papers in the whole kit is this camera design. I thought this sketch would be perfect for featuring the fun design, but I wanted a little more paper, so I did cut that panel slightly wider than what's indicated on the card sketch. The camera paper is 2.5 inches by 4 inches. And the black cardstock layers are an additional 1/8 of an inch. For the strip that goes across the card, I used some green tone-on-tone pattern paper, added a couple of Love From Lizi peel-offs toward the top of that strip. Now I'll add the camera paper on the left side. The sentiment, I've already stamped out Hello Autumn. This is a sentiment that's included in the kit. I stamped it on some craft cardstock and I cut it out using Love From Lizi's stitched oval dies. I'll layer the sentiment oval on a larger oval that I cut out from some gold pearlescent cardstock. Before adhering the sentiment, I did put a scrap piece of cardstock just on the right side where it goes off of the camera pattern paper. Then I'll adhere it in the lower right-hand corner. For a final finishing touch, I'll add 3 mini circle peel-offs on the right side of the camera paper. And there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Since I have the add-on bundle, I have a second set of all of the pattern paper and cut-aparts, so I decided to make 2 of every card. For card design number 2, selected this lovely floral paper for the background, and I did cut it out using Love From Lizi's stitched rectangle dies. I'll layer it on some yellow cardstock, and this is cardstock from my stash. Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Using one of the cut-aparts that's included in the kit, I cut it out using a stitched square die. Then I'll layer it on some soft orange pearlescent cardstock, and the pearlescent cardstock is an add-on bundle. The card kit includes some orange deco mesh. I cut a piece 4 1/4 of an inch wide, and I'll add the image cut apart on top. I'll first put foam dimension on the back of the cut apart. I'll hold the deco mesh piece on the card, then adhere the cut apart. The adhesive on the foam isn't sticky enough to adhere the deco mesh to the card, so I'll add some glue dots on the back side. And these are left over from a previous Love From Lizi kit. And I believe Lizi does sell the glue dots in her shop. I'll add 5 glue dots on the back side, and these are super sticky glue dots. And just to make sure everything stays on the card, I'll also add a little bit of glue around the glue dots. Then I'll add the deco mesh with the cut apart image on the front of my card. Next, I'll add a small banner in the upper right hand corner, and this pattern paper is from one of the cut apart pieces. It's a soft peach color with white polka dots, and it matches one of the flowers on the cut apart. I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom, cut the right side in slightly at an angle, flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner. Next, I'll add some peel-offs in the corner of the cut-apart image. This is the copper mirror color in the mini twinkle style. It's included in the add-on bundle kit. For a final finishing touch, I'm using a clear glitter brush and adding a bit of sparkle to the center of the 3 flowers. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from Sketch Saturday. This is number 732. I'm using the green tone-on-tone pattern for the background. And for the large circle in the lower right-hand corner, I selected this lovely white flower design. I cut it out using Love From Lizi's Stitch Circle die. I'll put glue on the back, and when adhering it, I'll make sure the circle covers up that entire lower right-hand corner. Then I'll flip over this panel, use my scissors to trim off the extra. Now this circle is flush to the bottom and the right side of the card panel. On the left side of the card, I'll be adding the white and green stripe paper. And for the scallop border, I'm using one of the stickers that's included in the kit. The entire sticker is a pretty orange foil. I'm using a piercing tool to hold the inside of the scallop since it all was stuck together. Then I'll adhere it on the left side of the card, wrapping the ends of the sticker around the back. Next, I'll add the green and white stripe paper on the right side of the scallop border. I'll layer this piece on some green cardstock, and this is cardstock that's included in the kit. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out thank you, and this is a sentiment that was included in a previous Love From Lizi kit. It's a fun stamp set, lots of thank you sentiments in different fonts, and you can purchase it individually. I'll cut a fishtail on the left side, and before adhering it to the card, I will add a scrap cardstock piece just on the left side where it goes off of the stitch circle die cut. Then I'll adhere it in the lower right-hand corner. Now I'll add a yellow and white polka dot arrow sticker and point it to the sentiment thank you. In the upper left-hand corner, I'll add a couple of the leaf puffy stickers that are included in the kit. They do have adhesive on the back, but it's not very sticky, so I'm adding just a small amount of glue to make sure it stays in place. And above the leaves, I'm adding a small bow using some blue and white twine from my stash. I'll trim the tails of the bow, put a small glue dot on the back side, and adhere the bow right above the 2 leaves. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The add-on kit bundle does include another sheet of the stickers, but mine was missing, so I did use some other products for the second card. For card design number 4, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 599. This is another favorite pattern paper of mine, dark blue with some yellow flowers and white branches, and the back side of the paper has yellow stripes. When you have one sheet of pattern paper and you want to feature both sides, a sketch design like this is perfect. You'll only see that small amount of the yellow stripe paper, so I was able to cut some narrow strips and then feature the rest of the pattern paper on the center of the card. For a little bit of separation and shine, I'm adding a Love From Lizi peel off along the edge of the blue pattern paper. This is the Pinstripe style in the gold moondust color. I layered the background on some dark blue cardstock. I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For the narrow rectangle on the left side of the card, I'm using another yellow pattern paper. I'll layer it on some dark blue cardstock. I'll put glue on the back and adhere it on the left side of the card, slightly higher than what's indicated on the card sketch. I've already stamped out the sentiment Hello Fall on a stitch circle die cut, and I'll adhere it in place with some glue. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some mini circle peel-offs in the gold moondust color. I'll put 3 in the upper right-hand corner and 2 underneath the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 5, the card sketch is from Sketch Saturday. This is number 725. For the background of my card, using some pattern paper with some tiny yellow flowers, and I'll layer it on some brown cardstock, Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. On the left side of the card, there are 2 narrow strips. The card kit includes several rolls of washi tape, and I thought it would be fun to add 2 rows of washi tape on the left side of the card. I'm using this beautiful floral design with the large sunflowers. And instead of using scissors to cut the ends of the washi tape, I'll tear it for a more natural look. Next, I'll add a cut apart sentiment, Beautiful You, and it's surrounded in this lovely floral wreath. I cut this out using one of Love From Lizi's stitch circle dies. Using the next size up die, I cut out another circle from some brown cardstock. I'll adhere the 2 together using some glue. Now I'll flip it over, put foam dimension on the back, remove the release paper, and add the cut apart circle in the lower left hand corner. One of the release papers didn't want to come off, and instead the foam piece ripped the cardstock, so I did need to add another foam piece. Using a small scrap piece of brown cardstock, I'll cut a banner and add it in the upper right hand corner. First cut a fishtail on the bottom, then I'll cut the right side in slightly at an angle, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. Now I'll adhere it in place with some glue. For a little extra detail on the cut apart, I'm using some Nuvo crystal drops. This is the Morning Dew color. I'll add 1 small drop in the center of each of the flowers. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add some mini circle peel-offs in the gold moondust color. I'm putting 3 above this circle on the left side and 2 underneath the circle on the right side. I almost forgot to add the peel-offs until I saw my second card. There are times I have cards prepped days before I actually record, so sometimes I forget one of the steps until I see the other card. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from Sketch Saturday. This is number 694. This is another perfect sketch for featuring both sides of the pattern paper. For the slightly wider panel, I'm using the animal print, and on the bottom it's a cream color with rust stripes. I'll layer both of these on some dark brown cardstock, and in between the 2 pattern papers, I'm adding a brown mirror peel-off in the pinstripe style. I'll use a craft knife on the right side to cut the end. Now I'll put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll add the 2 banners in the upper right hand corner. The larger banner I cut from some copper pearlescent cardstock, and this is from the 6x6 add-on specialty pack that I believe has already sold out. For the smaller banner, I'm using more of the dark brown cardstock. After cutting a fishtail on the bottom of each of the pieces, I'll adhere them in the upper right hand corner. I'm adding a piece of double-sided adhesive tape on the back of the brown banner since I am adhering it onto some specialty cardstock. This card will feature another cut-apart image, this fun wood grain heart, and I cut it out using Love From Lizi's circle dies. I'll layer it on a brown circle die cut and adhere the circle on the left side of the card. For a sentiment, I'm using the die that's included in the kit. This is Thank You, and I cut it out from some copper satin mirror cardstock. I love that the 2 words are one piece. I'll put glue on the back and adhere the sentiment right on top of the wood grain heart. For a final finishing touch, I'll add a couple of puffy stickers in the upper right hand corner, 2 small orange flowers, and I will add just that small drop of glue before adhering them in place. For card design number 7, the card sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. This is number 600. I'm using this fun light blue pattern paper with lots of tiny off-white spots. For the narrow strip that goes across the card, using some more of the yellow, almost a wood grain looking paper. I will round the bottom 2 corners using a corner chomper. And on the top of the panel, I'm adding a couple of Love From Lizi peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style in the gold color. I'm using the medium and the narrowest width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some dark teal cardstock, and this is cardstock from my stash. Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. I'm adding the sentiment hello. This is one of my favorite cut aparts in the whole kit, and I did cut it out using Love From Lizi's stitch circle dies. I cut out another circle die cut, the same size, and I'll adhere them together just for some extra stability. On the card sketch, it has a sentiment going on top of the circle, but since I already have a sentiment on the circle, I'll add one of the stickers behind the circle die cut. It features the tiny little yellow flowers. Then I'll put glue on the back of the sentiment cut apart and adhere it on the left side of the card. For a final finishing touch, I'll add some of the puffy stickers, 3 teal leaves. I'll put 2 underneath the circle on the left side and 1 on the right side of the circle. And I am adding just that small drop of glue to make sure they stay in place. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 8, I'll be using the stamp and coordinating stencil set that's included in the kit. I already have the stamp set up in my Mini Misty, and I'm stamping it on some craft cardstock using Catherine Pooler's Macchiato ink color. I did ink up this stamp several times to get a nice solid impression. Now I'll use the coordinating stencil that's included in the kit, line it up on the stamped image, and I did mark the very top of my stencil with a dot, that way I know it's the top. To hold the stencil in place and to make sure I don't get any ink on the outside of the stencil area, I'm adding some tacky tape. Now I can fill in the stencil using Catherine Pooler's Mandarin Spice ink color. I love how Lizi's designed the stamp and stencil set to work together. You could use each of them on their own for a different pattern, but having the 2 together creates this really fun animal print look. I think the orange and brown look perfect together. I'll remove the tacky tape. The fun part is always seeing the finished result. Now I'll cut out this panel using one of Love From Lizi's stitched rectangle dies. At the bottom of the panel, I'm adding a strip of washi tape. It's a yellow striped design. I'll wrap the ends around the back. That way it won't peel up later. I'll put adhesive on the back, layer this piece on some gold embossed specialty cardstock. I did cut out a piece from the center so I could use it on another project, and I'll fill in that area with some scrap cardstock. Along with the ATG tape, I'm also adding some glue along the stitched edge since I am adhering this onto some specialty cardstock. Just want to make sure it stays together. Now I'll layer this piece on some brown cardstock, put ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base. Even though there's a very small border of the gold specialty cardstock showing, you can also see some of that gold shine through the stitched edge on the craft cardstock. For a little extra detail, and to help the animal print square design stand out, I'm adding some Love From Lizi peel-offs. This is the orange color with gold overlay. It's the sheet that's included in the kit. I'm using the medium width, putting one along the very edge of the stamped and stenciled design. And right now I do have the pieces cut just a little bit longer. Now I'll use the edge of my craft knife, press it into the corner, mitering the 2 pieces together to create this fun frame. Then I'll remove the extra pieces of the peel-offs. I need to add 1 more peel-off at the bottom of the design. Then I'll do the same thing to the bottom 2 corners. This is a fun way to add that little extra detail and shine. It's been several months since I've used this technique, and when I saw the stamped stenciled image, I knew it would be perfect. For a sentiment, I'm adding the word hello. This is one of the stickers, and it has the beautiful orange foiling. I'll also add one of the floral stickers. I'll adhere the floral sticker down first, and I am popping up this sentiment with some foam dimension. I'll remove the release paper and adhere the sentiment right on top of the floral sticker. Using some brown cardstock, I'll cut a small banner and adhere it in the upper right-hand corner. Doing it the same way I've done for other banners. I call it a whimsical banner. I'll adhere it in place using some glue, with just the very top of the banner going above the animal print design. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add some of the Copper Mirror Mini Twinkle peel-offs. I'll put 3 in the lower left-hand corner and 2 on the small banner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the second card, I used a different sticker, Beautiful Leaf Wreath, and it has the sentiment, Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. And the sentiment is super shiny with the orange foiling. Now moving on to card design number 9. I love all the beautiful autumn colors included in the kit, but I thought it would be fun to make a super pink card. For the background of my card, I'm using some of the pink, sort of a wood grain looking pattern paper, layering it on some pink cardstock from my stash, then I'll layer it again on some dark brown cardstock. Put ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. I'll be adding this lovely pink cut apart panel. First, layer it on some dark brown cardstock. Across the card, I'm adding a strip of pink tone-on-tone pattern paper. I'll adhere that down first, then add the pink floral cut apart image. Using Love From Lizi's stitched oval dies, I cut out a light pink pearlescent oval, and I'll adhere that onto the floral cut apart. I love using Lizi's pearlescent cardstock, and I always save the small pieces since you never know when you need just a little bit of shimmer. The add-on kit bundle also includes 3 tree dies, and they have this really fun design. I selected one of them, cut it out from some pink cardstock. I'll put glue on the back and adhere it onto the oval die cut. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out the word hello. This sentiment is not included in the kit. It was in a previous Love From Lizi kit, but you can purchase the stamp set individually. I'll cut a fishtail on the right and left side, put some double-sided adhesive tape on the back, and also a little bit of glue, then adhere this sentiment on top of the tree toward the bottom. For a final finishing touch, I'll be adding another whimsical banner using some of the brown cardstock. And I'm adding just a tiny banner this time. I'll put glue on the back and adhere it in the upper left-hand corner. I love using pink and brown together. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I love how this card turned out, so much pink. And it's fun that the kit has some pink included along with all the pretty autumn colors. For card design number 10, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 657, and I will show that sketch here in a moment. I forgot to pull it out at first. For the background of my card, I have this beautiful pink leaf with an orange background, and I did cut it out using Love From Lizi's stitched rectangle die. Across the card, I'm adding some of the copper pearlescent cardstock. And for that little bit of shine, I'll add a Love From Lizi peel-off above and below that strip. I'm using the Copper Mirror with gold overlay color in the pinstripe style, so it's super shiny. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some dark brown cardstock, put ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. So there's the card sketch. Remember to pull it out now. Next, I'll add 6 small stitch circle die cuts, and I did use some white pearlescent cardstock. I'll add 3 of them at the top and 3 below. I'll first lay them on the card without adhesive so I can get the placement correct. I'll put glue on the back of the center circle, then add one on the right and left, and do the same thing for the bottom 3 circles. You could probably use a ruler to get the placement exact, but I'm just eyeballing it. I have just 2 more circles to adhere. The nice thing about using glue, there's always that little bit of wiggle room so you can adjust everything before it really adheres. Inside each of the circles, I'll be adding one of the puffy leaf stickers. I'm using just the pink and orange colors, and I'll alternate the colors as I add them into the circles. I will put that small drop of glue on the back since they aren't very sticky. I'm also making sure the leaves aren't all facing the same direction. Some are facing more left and the others right. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out thank you. I stamped it on some of the pattern paper. I'll cut a fishtail on the right and left side, put adhesive on the back, and adhere it in the center of the copper pearlescent cardstock. It's always good to have some cards on hand without all the extra dimension, so I decided not to add any bling. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now here's another look at the 20 cards I made using Love From Lizi's September 2023 card kit. It's called A Spot of Autumn. I also used the add-on kit bundle, so I was able to make multiples of every card, since the add-on bundle includes duplicates of all of the pattern paper, cut-aparts, stickers, and some extras. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. This is a monthly kit, so quantities are always limited. The only way to guarantee receiving a kit is to sign up and subscribe. And I have provided links for subscribing below. Love From Lizi is based in the UK, but she ships all of her products worldwide. Her monthly kits are always packed full with fun and unique items. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.